Welcome to LOA Today. I'm Walt Thiessen here with Alex King and Daniel Mangena. Today is Tuesday. It is September the 8th, 2020. It's 4 p.m. New York time, and wherever you are in the world, thanks for joining us for another episode of LOA Today, your daily dose of happy. And the only unhappy thing today is Dave Strickle is unable to be with us today. He will join us next Tuesday, but he needed a little time to deal with some stuff. So we will be hanging on to the questions that have been sent in, and we will combine them with whatever questions get sent in over the next week. If you have a question that you'd like the Stream of David to answer, to reply to, just use the form in the LOA Today app to send it in, and we will add it to the list. But while that may be the bad news, the good news is we get to go back to Dan and Alex and me doing Tuesday. And Daniel, I've got stuff saved up for you.
You do?
I do, because it's been a while since.
I've been off for about 2 weeks, haven't I?
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Same, bro, same.
And you'll recall the last time that you were on the show, you and I did the show together. It was a Thursday. And I was trying to get a little conversation going about the money game. So I said, well, nothing's really happening for me with the money game. What do you think? And you said, well, so what? And I said, yeah, you're right. And so we just kind of blew it off. Well, as it turns out, there actually was something going on, and I didn't realize it.
Isn't that the way it always goes?
You about this. Now, I did actually mention it on that Friday show, but I'm going to mention it again here because you haven't heard the story. As it turned out, that week, I had received not one, but 2 unexpected checks in the mail, and I had not connected them to the money game. I had not made the association. The first one was from my insurance company. They gave me a $13 and I forget what cents check. That was when I had my $10 minimum that I had set. And then later in that same week, they sent me another check for $40 before I'd even set the second intention.
Nice.
Talk about bending time.
Yeah, no kidding. So I figured, well, I'll write down the intention, even though I already got it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's good. Then you can celebrate it and go to the next stage.
So
there you go.
Now, I have to say, since then, I have not, to the best of my knowledge, received another one. I mean, I did set it this time at 50 because I figured maybe I need at least 50 just to notice it. Otherwise, forgetting it doesn't go under the radar. So we're waiting on the $50 one, but I had to tell you that. I thought that was
That's fun. Talk about fun and playful.
Yeah.
And we also have a couple of emails that were sent in. Again, these are a little bit older because, you and I haven't done the show in a while, and they came in shortly after the last time we were on. One of them comes from Carla, and she says, hi, Walt, I enjoyed the show today regarding the money game. For whatever reason, I was under the impression we had to write the manifestation message every day. Does writing the message daily make a difference? And secondly, this question is for Dan, but also for Cindy, and I passed it along to Cindy. Have you heard of the Neville Goddard climbing a ladder exercise?
Yes.
I think we kind of talked about that part. And if so, have you used it? And can this be combined with the money game?
Don't combine anything with the money game. If you're going to do the ladder exercise and do something money game-esque with it, then just keep them separate, because what's possibly happening is we're trying to convolute something that's very simple, that's meant to just do a very simple job of restructuring. If against the backdrop of that restructuring, you want to add some other fancy stuff into your life, go ahead. If you're going to do the money game intention and then go and do a variation of the ladder exercise, then fine. But all the ladder exercise is doing is visualizing with intent something with low resistance, which is climbing up a ladder. That's what it's doing. The money game is doing exactly the same thing, being in a space of expectation. Now, obviously, with the ladder exercise, he deliberately says, don't see the ladder, don't see the ladder, don't see the ladder, so that he can show you that even saying you don't want to see something still creates an energetic connection.
I love that part too.
But here's the thing. If I say, I'm not going to get the money, I'm not going to get the money, I'm not going to get the money, there's probably an underlying program that says that that's correct. And so it's not going to work in the same way.
Good point. Yeah.
Because we don't have the same resistance to walking up a ladder. It's highly unlikely there's going to be an underrunning program that says, well, you're not ever going to see a ladder. Ladders aren't for you. You're too tall, dark, female, or anything to go up a ladder. So I don't think that's going to happen. And most of us have been up a ladder. of some sort, of some height. So it's a different principle in that regard.
Okay, that's good. And then the other email comes from Amy. Again, this came quite a few days ago. And she actually said, you don't have to answer this on the show, but I think it's such a good question. We're going to answer it on the show anyway. She says, I'm having trouble understanding what my edge is. And then she describes what she has done so far with the money game. Phase 1, step 1, asked for $5, received $400.
Okay, so the edge currently is 400. Next.
Step 2, asked for 10, received 20.
Edge is still 400.
Step 3, asked for 12, received wine glasses.
Doesn't count. Next.
It's the money game, not the wine glass game.
Step 4, asked for $18, received $10, refunded.
Step 3, they're still at step 3 technically.
Okay. So what she's calling step 5 is still step 3, asked for 20, received 20.
Okay. So her edge is still 400 because the edge is the most that you've received. So when she goes into phase 2 and it's asking for you to talk about your edge, it's the most that you received during phase 1. So phase 2, I think it's when we push it by 20%. So she'll be going for 400 again or more, and then upping the 400 up above the 400, stretching that. And then when they go to phase 3, whatever was the highest amount you got in phase 2, cut that in half and then creep back up to the same number to cement it in.
So the 400 becomes 500, 500 becomes 620 or whatever it is. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
And obviously with the book, there's only so much I can do in terms of giving like the tailor, but really it doesn't have to be a 20% with phase 2. You can do the same thing you did in phase 1 in terms of moving in increments. So you can do 400, 410, 420, 450, for example. It's just about going above the edge and pushing what you thought was possible before. And then phase 3, which generally is the fastest phase, you cut that edge in half and then cement the edge. And generally that's when people that are doing the full system get the massive wins. But we end up with the money game challenge, because there's so many people firing energy at it, the kind of results that people normally get in phase 3, they get from doing the money game challenge because it's got the collaborative energy.
Okay. All right. And then regarding the ones that we kind of pushed the wayside, like asked for $12, received the wine glasses. If I remember correctly, the idea with those was you express appreciation for having received them as if you'd received the value, but you still haven't actually made that.
You haven't actually done it yet. Yeah. So a happy byproduct of playing the money game is you get lots of free stuff.
Yeah.
You'll get a lot of free stuff because it just reattunes you to receiving and abundance. So you'll start getting free tickets, discounts, money back, coupons. People get a lot of coupons. All of that stuff kicks in, and that's great and lovely. But the intention is not to be distracted by those at all, but to stick with the receivership of money. So thank you. Really appreciate that. I'm just in the middle of manifesting some money, but you the bomb.
Okay. So through the point that Amy sent this email, she was actually still on the third part of phase 1. She had 2 more to go.
Yeah.
She just didn't necessarily know it at the time. Okay.
So what would actually happen is that $20 was actually the receivership for phase 3 when she'd asked for the 12 and got the wine glasses. So she's on step 4 now.
Right. Okay. And theoretically, with what she had at step 4, asked for 18, received 10, and she had refunded after that. Theoretically, that was one where you give away, right?
Yeah, well, I suggest
it's a suggestion. It's not required.
It's not required. But if you get less than what you'd asked for and give it away, I think I've mentioned this on the show before.
Yeah.
You are saying, I am so confident that mine is actually coming that I'm going to set myself up to be a conduit of abundance to somebody else and give this away.
Now, is that similar to or different from what we talked about before? Because we talked about how playing the money game is different from playing the ladder game because you could have resistances about money that you wouldn't have about a ladder. Like I'm not expecting, 20 ladders coming into my life. Yeah. So similar question here. I mean, if it's about giving money away, like you said, you want to be doing it from a point of feeling total confidence. If you're not feeling total confidence, you give it away.
You bless it.
You bless
So
it.
you bless it. Bless the money. And by that, you just say, thank you for this money. I'm sending it out to go and bless somebody else and to bring something into someone's life.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Or even, dear God, dear universe, dear world, whichever one you use, like divine consciousness, higher self, direct me on who will be the most blessed by the receivership of this money.
I like that.
And then put it out. That's a bit more of an advanced hack that I normally give in Micro to Millions. But that basically, you're hacking the system. It's a hack within the hack, because what you're also doing there is you're deliberately asking for where this is going to give you the most karmic muju. Think about it, if you're the answer to somebody's prayer, then the gratitude that they express also comes to you. You get a slice of that goodness. It's energetically, it's some pretty cool magic.
It does sound
I never
cool,
thought
especially when you
about
describe
that.
it that way. You never thought of it that way?
No, that is some great stuff.
Anytime you're the answer to somebody's prayer, you're getting in on any of the gratitude and stuff that goes out for that. You get a piece.
Karmically, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
But I just always left karma up to, whatever. I never
Yeah, but karma can be directed.
Yeah, I see
That's
that
what value vacuums are. And when I spoke about forward tithing, when we spoke about tithing, well, forward tithing is exactly the same thing. You're getting the karmic goodies by, you're basically force feeding yourself karmic goodies by putting it out in advance. So like I said, my 10% tithing, I've got specific communities across the third world that I've got schools that I support, homeless situations I support. I've got religious institutions that I support. So that at any one time, like every Friday, there are like a couple of thousand Muslims around the world praying with intent that I get more blessings, because when I get blessings, they get blessed too.
Cool.
Now, the level of belief that they have in their act of prayer translates into them manifesting a reality where that happens. And because I'm quantumly entangled with them, I get the byproduct of their belief, even though I don't believe the same thing.
That's bananas. But like in a great way, though.
Yeah. The same thing. There's like some Christian institutions that I do. There's a Hindu institution that I do. There's like I think they're Buddhist. There's there's a thing in Nepal that I support as well. The more I get, the more they get, because 10% of everything I make every Friday gets distributed between these different causes and people. So they want me to do better, because if I do better,
yeah.
so they've got this intention.
Yeah.
Like, what, Dan? We hope Dan does better because we
Go, Dan, go. Go, Dan, go.
Blessings upon blessings.
So that's a load of. Now, here's the really cool thing. I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it because it feels good to do something that's good.
Right.
If I was like, I better give this money to them so that I get something back, then that's not. I've already polluted my own thing. I see it as a happy byproduct of me getting to do some good.
Yeah, I had a bad habit with that. When I used to go, because when I used to go to church and I would give tithes, I was like, okay, let me take a percentage of my tips that I made, because I was a hairstylist. I would take a percentage of the tips that I made that week and I would tithe that. And then I'd be like, I had the belief that I'm like, okay, whatever I tithe, I'm going to get back tenfold. But that was the reason I was giving the tithe, though. I was like, no, it's going to come back. So I'm just going to, here you go.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing it for any other reason.
But that's take energy. If we look at like the reality transcending concept of the three-dimensional mirror, I'm giving with take energy. Because remember, the giving and the taking is happening simultaneously. What's being reflected back to me is what I'm putting in. And if I'm putting in from an energy of receiving back, then I'm taking. So the mirror's giving me exactly the same. So the other side is like, oh, thank you for this money. Where's more money?
Yeah.
Instead of give, and then it gives back, because it reflects exactly what we're putting into it.
Right.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. Now, Amy actually had more in her question. It was sort of like a follow-up question. She said, also, if I know that something is owed to me personally or in my business, but it hasn't been paid, does that count?
It depends on whether they're expecting it to be paid or not. So, for example, I've got a couple of guys that use this in their business. So they know they're going to make money from their business. But what ends up happening is people who they'd written off, like genuinely written off as not going to pay, who haven't paid in months. This has been happening a lot, right? They haven't paid like 6 months. They've owed money. The interest had accrued. And now they'll be like, oh, hey, you know, I've got that money for you. It's just like Joshua Crisp, who's like one of my original Micro to Millions guys. Has this happened to you, Walt?
Well,
it happened to me today, and I just realized I made the connection once. It's like,
it's exactly the same.
I keep skipping all these things that are happening. It's ridiculous.
So you had another with it.
So what happened is, this is a customer of Gardens by Louise, my wife's gardening service and maintenance business that I'm now managing for. And we had one customer this year who hadn't paid her bill in a couple months. And it's the only one. It's been a good year in terms of, it's not been a good year in terms of COVID. It really knocked down the overall business, but it has been a good year in terms of customers paying the bills on time, except for this one customer. And I don't even know why. For some reason, I was kind of not looking forward to making the phone call saying, you know, are we going to get a check from you? That kind of thing. I'd sent her multiple invoices by email. I put an invoice into the mail saying, oh, maybe you didn't check your emails, but here's this, and still hadn't heard anything. So I said, well, I'll give it a couple more days. Today we got a check in the mail from her, half of what she owes, and she's going to send the rest of it in October. And she said, well, my email got hacked. That's why I couldn't pay. But the thing was, I'd already decided this isn't likely to happen, so I think I'm just going to keep putting it off. And if it shows up, great, but I'm not going to count on it. So here I get on the show today, and I'm talking about these 2 checks that showed up that I didn't associate with the money game. And now my next level is $50, and that hasn't shown up yet after like 2 or 3 weeks. And now all of a sudden you're talking about past due debts. I'm thinking, oh my God, I did it again.
But this is the reticular activating system in action, right? If we're detuned from something, like think about all the other blessings that we walk past in our life every day.
Oh God, yes.
I've got someone who's in one of my programs and is financially free. They don't have to work for money. Money comes in. Like even in the face of COVID, every single one of their financial needs has always been met by some miracle. Like something always just shows up. Mm-hmm. But because there's another thing that they want that's not financially related, they're like, yeah, that's great, but that's not what I really care about. I care about this. So they're giving no gratitude and direction to the financial freedom that they've got, which, by the way, was the original thing that they really cared about.
Right, of course.
To leave. But now that they've got that, oh yeah, that's great, but I'm still upset. Now, I'm not negating the other thing might feel more important, but I'm simply using to make reference to the fact that oftentimes we have these blessings in our life, but we're not giving it any attention. Mm-hmm. We just
or recognition in my case. I'm not even recognizing it. I'm not even noticing it. Oh my God.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
And now my edge just increased to 500. So.
There you go.
Nice.
Oh, that's pretty crazy. All right. Well, that makes my day. So thank you very much, customer. You just helped me on step 3 of phase 1 of the money game. Appreciate that.
There you go. There you go. And the thing is, this elevated vibration of laughter and humor that you've thrown into it shifts you and attunes you more closely to those sectors of infinite reality where this kind of thing happens. This is now your norm. This gleeful surprise. Mm-hmm. This is when we're talking about vibration. This is what we're really talking about. Your resonance is now more closely attuning to this kind of outcome.
And that's a good thing, because if this has been an ongoing thing where I just keep not noticing stuff that's coming in, you know, that's a good one to turn around and go the other direction. So I'm glad of that.
But the dance becomes not looking for it, but being open to seeing it.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, because I wasn't looking for it. You know, every once in a while, I kind of.
Oh, you definitely weren't looking for it, mate.
Yeah, obviously, if you didn't notice it. This is the money game happening live. Like, right now.
Money Game Live with Walt Thiessen.
I mean, literally, the first time that I thought about it was the week after when I'm doing a show with you, trying to think about, okay, what are we going to talk about with the money game? Oh, geez, I haven't gotten mine yet. Let's bring that up. Okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the thing is that here's the thing that's really going to bake everyone's noodle. You having this experience is going to attune the listeners to that frequency and is actually going to call in the potential of them having similar wins.
Ooh,
so
I
more
like
people
that.
are going to have a win just as a result of witnessing yours because you've made
I
it
like
tangible. Because the second-hand experience of them witnessing it with you opens them up to that possibility too. And all of a sudden the universe can use that excuse for them to have the win that they thought that they were waiting for and hadn't had yet.
See, now that's a win. That's a win right there. That's a big win. I like
I
that.
can't handle anymore today. Like, this is... Oh, my God.
We knocked Alex off her game, Dan. I mean, this
Yeah.
is
Oh,
Facts, right?
actually.
oh, jeez. That's
Oh,
great.
man.
Well, that's all I have in terms of emails about the money game. But for those who have who joined us early on and signed up to do the money game, let us know, what kind of progress you're making. Thank you to Amy for sharing her progress.
Definitely celebrating you. Celebrating you. Amy with your wins. Keep on playing the game.
Not only are you winning, you're getting a song. I mean, what more could you
Personalized
ask?
song.
But yeah, please send in the emails. Use the LOA Today app and the Ask a Question form because you can also use that just to send a message. And let us know what's going on for those of you who have been playing the money game with us because it's fun. I mean, like Dan was saying, look at what my own story has done for all the listeners. I didn't even intend it to. It just kind of did all on its own.
There you go.
So
And it happens in a number of ways. I mean, so for example, Jonathan, who's my 7-figure guy, that's what, although I think I have a call with a couple more guys. I think someone else is close.
Ooh.
Just him making 7 figures inspired other people to go for it
nice.
because now it's real.
Yeah.
Tangible.
It's real because I physically know someone who's used this material to become a millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do something special. He was in a job that was refusing to pay him his worth.
Oh, boy.
And that job is what ended up being the vehicle for him making $1 million. Well, actually, reported now, he's going to be closer to 2 million because he's booked another couple of 100,000. In fact, while we were on a group call the other day, an email came in that he was making like another $160,000
Wow.
in bonuses.
Wow.
That's fab. That is really fabulous. Oh, well done to him. Congratulations to him.
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, opens up opportunity.
I know you also mentioned in one of the previous shows, I think it may have been the one where we were actually going through the money game book. You told about this one client, I think it was you, who told about a client that had come in and they were basically almost homeless and working through the program, they ended up to a point now where they've got their
No,
dream.
that was David. David
was that
talking about
David?
someone in his boot camp? Yeah,
That was
someone in
David's
his
boot camp. Sorry. See, all this abundance is just kind of piling on top of itself, and I'm having trouble keeping it all straight.
It's just one abundance. It's one abundance.
Okay, so I'll have to ask David again about that next time when he's on next week. But yeah, stories like that are so cool. And
Yeah,
when people
it's
make
great to
that
hear.
kind of progress, that's exciting.
Right.
And if you ask me, it's because that woman committed to investing $5,000 in herself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it was a substantial investment
It's
for
not
somebody who didn't
a
really
small
have anything.
investment. So someone who's ready to make that leap is the same
Yeah.
with people that come into my mastermind, right?
Mm-hmm.
They make that leap. Most of them have the money back within about 6 weeks.
Mm.
And it's not a little investment. But that commitment, it basically, you're stepping yourself up into a new level. You're stepping yourself up into a level that says, I am worth investing this money in myself. And as a result, click, 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 click. It clicks in.
That's another interesting aspect of this whole thing. I mean, you don't actually include that in the money game per se, but it's an interesting aspect of the whole money game concept because when you invest in yourself like that, that is a way of doing an ask, isn't it?
It's a forward tithe. It's a form of forward tithe.
Forward tithe, okay. which we talked about last
If you
time.
bless it, if you do it from oh my God, it better, like some of the people that have tried to come into my program, they're like, yeah, but can you guarantee that I'm going to do it? Is it for sure if I put this, that it's going to work for me?
Well, that's up to you.
No, I just told them, no, thanks. You're not coming in.
That's fear.
No, seriously, Alex.
I believe you. That's why I'm laughing.
It's just like, yeah, sorry,
You're
mate.
like, bye, Felicia.
Bye. It's just like, because it's the energy with which you step into that.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I still personally screen, at least for the mastermind, we screen everyone coming into it. Because we've got a coherent common field that we've created of everyone that wants to be there, is about it, and is ready to step into that level of belief and invest in themselves. That uplifts everybody. So everybody coming in is adding to that coherent frequency, not creating distortion that's going to pull anybody else down.
And that's, in many ways, that's similar to what we do here on the show. We do your daily dose of happy. We're lifting everyone's vibration by lifting our own vibration up. And that's kind of a similar concept going on there too. And it's tangible, isn't it? It's a thing you can feel. It's a thing that you can actually touch and experience.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
So.
All right. Well, there's the money game update for the week or for the last
Gangster.
week.
Celebrating all of
however long it's been. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been good. So, didn't really have a whole lot more to talk. Oh, well, yeah, I could tell you about something. I was going to tell Alex this because I wasn't sure, Daniel, if you were going to be able to make it today. So we were glad that you were.
No, I wasn't missing today for anything.
Oh, good.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I wasn't missing today. It's been too long.
But I just wanted to share, a couple weeks ago we had talked about kicking around the idea of wouldn't it be cool if there was like an LOA Today radio station or a TV show or something like that. And so I kind of put it on hold since then. It's like, let it just kind of germinate for its own and just see what it comes up with. And then the other day, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I woke up and about ready to go back to sleep, and an idea came to me. I kind of filed it away and then thought about it when I woke up. And the idea was, well, if you want to just kind of do it on a small scale, there's cable access. Because here in the United States, anybody can get on cable through a cable access channel. So I said, well,
Very true.
yeah, I guess you could do
Xfinity
that.
advertises all the time.
Yeah, so just out of the lark, I decided to look it up, and sure enough, our cable access has it. It's one of the single digits, which is cool. I said, well, that's
So
kind
hang
of
on, let me.
What?
Brain fart.
Let me get this right. You can have. I don't understand the cable access. Sorry, can you?
When
Can you
cable
help
TV
educate
was,
a Mexico living Brit?
Facts. Yeah,
here
it's
in
an
the
American
United
thing.
States, when cable access, when cable TV was first set up here in the U.S., the U.S. government jumped in and included a rule that said that because we don't want to have monopolies, of course, this didn't do anything to stop monopolies, but that's another story. Because we don't want to have monopolies, we're going to require that anybody who offers cable service has to provide a local community channel, at least one local community channel that anyone in the community can create a television show for. And it will be broadcast in that local area.
Oh, so you could have a TV show,
So I could have a TV show.
and there's no restrictions on that.
And there's no restrictions. There's almost no cost. The only cost is you have to go through a little training program to learn how to use the equipment. And that's it.
So you can have a TV show.
So you can have a TV show. I thought,
That's amazing.
that's actually pretty cool.
So why aren't you doing it all? Why
'Cause I
haven't
hadn't
you
thought of
got
it.
to?
I literally had not thought of it.
I'm
See-
celebrating that manifestation.
See, my point here is that by going through the various steps of first having Rita read me and saying, the Spirit is saying you should really have your own radio station, and then
Yeah.
me bringing it up with you, and you saying, well, I've done all this research before. I said, oh, cool. We'll follow up on that. Of course, we never followed up. And then this dream comes along saying, well, you could do cable access. And I checked out cable access about 25 years ago, decided it wasn't right for what I was interested in, and forgot about it.
Do you know what's so funny is that I had an idea for something else that my friend called me about yesterday after I received another nudge about the radio with you, and he wants to do a TV-based project. And then you're today. So if you were looking for another sign, Walt, Here
The
are they.
vibrations on this are really intense. Let's
Here are they.
leave it like that.
Here are they. Here they are.
Yeah, right.
I give you the signs, Mr. Walt. The
Give me
signs
the
are here for you. Please make a TV show. Okay.
Well, all right, then I'll take it to the next step. Because in order to make this happen, I need to have some people in my local area who can do it with me, because I have to have, people running certain things in the TV studio. So,
Right.
any listeners in the area who want to join in on a project, give me a little shout, send me a little note, tell me that you're interested.
Slide up
so
in
cool.
DMs.
This is so cool.
I agree.
I'm reconsidering finishing my green card application. I'll move to Connecticut.
You'll be
No
on
way.
the East
You
Coast.
guys
we'll
have
be
snow.
We'll be a
You
couple
guys have-
hours away. It'll be great.
You guys have snow and no toilet paper. I'm not.
We have
If it
toilet
makes any
paper
difference,
now.
if it makes any difference, Daniel, we have a great supply of toilet paper. We've stocked up since the whole thing
Okay.
went crazy. We said,
Yeah.
okay, we
All
better
right.
get some once we get some in the shelves. So we're stocked.
I'll take it under consideration.
I don't know about y'all, but on the Cape, it's harder to find paper towel than it is to find toilet paper now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Still bananas.
Sad times. Let me get some
Sad
paper
times.
towel and wipe my tears. Bye.
Just saying, if you're coming on vacation to the beach, bring your own.
Wow.
Mhm.
So anyway, going back to the positive of all the positives.
I can't.
I agree with you though. This whole TV radio thing, it has
very
taken
cool.
on a life of its own practically.
Mm-hmm.
So am I going to
It-
have to start wearing makeup? Is that what's happening?
Well, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know how far advanced these local studios are, because I mean the studios are basically paid for by the various cable companies, and I think they all share the same studios in order to
Yeah.
keep costs down. But I don't know how well invested they are. So how up to date is the equipment? I'm not sure. But
Oh my God, I just realized something.
But consider something. What if the equipment is up to date enough that you could tie it into a computer system and tie in Zoom? Well, I can include you guys on the cable show.
Big facts.
That'd
I'm
be
going to
cool.
talk to my brother from another mother. He used to produce cable access, actually.
No kidding.
Yeah. Like that's what he went to college for, and then he did it for
You
like
went to
3 or 4
college for cable
Yeah.
access programming?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's what I'm just realizing now, and I'm like, he doesn't do it anymore. But that's because there was no real money in it. But yeah.
I can't believe you got a degree in it. I didn't know you could even go to school for that.
Well, it wasn't. The degree wasn't for cable access, but that's what he ended up working with.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It was just for production and something. I forget.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes more
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
hmm
Where is he located?
He's here in Mass.
In Mass?
Yeah, he's in Randolph.
Maybe I can get him to move to Connecticut.
Prop not.
Probably not. Oh, well.
You're not taking
Yeah,
any
but he
more
could
of my friends.
probably. The thing is, look, we're
He
in a
can
new
commute.
world. We're in a new world, right? Studio, guys. I recorded a show with someone up in Seattle, around the Seattle area last year.
Mhm.
Yeah, last year. It looked like an amazing studio. It was in his basement. It was lighting, props, and that was it.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's
This
all you
whole
really
idea
need.
of a studio, and right now, in post-COVID world, you can do everything as a digital show with the right software just to like line everything up. You could even have
Facts.
guest shows.
Well, I'll have to check
you
it.
You could convert your office room in the house into your studio. It just needs lighting. And nowadays, with technology, Amazon will probably get you set up for a couple $1,000, including
Facts.
good cameras.
I just have to check one thing because I'm not 100% sure of this. I think with the cable access, they want you to use their studio.
Okay, so then you'll be renting their studio space, so you don't have to think
But
about it.
if we're using their studio, then I have to have the technicians on site.
Then
But
they'll
when-
probably
if
have
you're
technicians in that studio.
No, you have to
Right.
provide the technicians.
No, but what I'm saying is there'll be technicians working on other shows that'll probably be ready to do some moonlighting.
Now,
working
yeah,
for you.
I thought about that. Now that is a possibility. I mean,
Yeah.
certainly energetically, I can see how that would work.
Yeah,
Well, that's why I'm going to ask Matt how this whole thing works.
Yeah. Okay.
this is fascinating.
Isn't it?
It's all coming together, bro.
I mean, it's like watching manifestation happen.
I told you.
Making manifestation.
Live,
Well,
man.
both actually, yeah. It's the two together.
Watching, making. I am the witness, I'm the doer, the observer and the experiencer.
Oh my god.
I'm loving it. This is great. Oh, yeah.
So would it be LOA TV or a Daily Dose of Happy TV?
I don't know.
You know what I'd love
saying.
you to do? Walt? I'd love you to do a positive news show highlighting the positive things that are happening in the world.
Someone's already doing that.
Well, there are a few people
Are
who
they-
do that,
are
but
they
doesn't
doing
mean
it in
doesn't mean
Connecticut?
it can't be done anymore. I mean, remember, there are literally hundreds here just in the United States alone. There are hundreds of news
people telling about the crap stuff.
News.
Yeah. So a couple
Well,
more
yeah.
people telling the good news.
I mean, the good news stations are like 200 or 300 behind.
Yeah.
I think there's something to be said for more people doing that.
You guys know John Krasinski from The Office?
I know the name.
He
Know the name.
plays Jim. He's also done like a bagillion movies.
Carry on. I think I know who you mean.
Yeah. Well, he has his own internet show called Good News, and he only reports good news.
Cool.
And I'm like, thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm going to watch that news show.
Yeah. I think he comes on with it on Instagram like once a week, I think, because he's not doing anything else while he's quarantining. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to get some studio equipment and I'm going to start my own good news show.
What's his name?
John Krasinski. Good luck spelling that last name.
John Krasinski.
I would just Google Jim from The Office.
It also occurs to me that, we have on the negative news side, we have the Associated Press, which is basically, reporters from all the different newspapers and magazines and TV stations and so forth, all banded together. Well, why not have an Associated Good News Press?
That's a mouthful, but yes, I agree.
I mean, probably a different name because that doesn't
Yeah,
really work. But
definitely. Something a little snappier, but yes,
just a
I
little
agree.
bit, yeah.
Associated Good News Press.
Hi, this is Walt Eastern from the Associated Good News
Oh,
Press.
that's why I
What?
know his name. He also plays Ryan
Yeah,
in the new.
the
Uber What's
Amazon
It?
Prime show. Yeah. He is also in Quiet Place.
I don't know what that means.
Oh,
But
good
I do
movie.
know this.
You gotta see Quiet Place, guys.
May we make a quick diversion onto TV shows because we haven't done it for a while.
Always.
So, Love the Boys. Thank
Season
you.
2 is out.
Already started. Thank you.
Yeah, same.
God bless you and all your kind. Hannah has upset me.
I couldn't get into it.
I don't think it was worth the trying.
I agreed after the second episode, and I usually give it at least 3.
Yeah, I'm. That's where I am,
Mm-hmm.
and not with joy and laughter.
Agreed.
It's like, okay, we've never left the forest, but we've got serving spoons and managed to find clothing with no one for 100 kilometers.
Right. It's unrealistic. I agree.
At least give me a little respect, bro. Just a little respect.
Bear in mind, folks, this is the man who manifests money out of thin air like that.
Yeah, but can't seem to manage a decent episode of Hannah.
That's
I mean, come on.
crazy.
Woo! Talking to you, Amazon Prime.
Talking to you, up in your face, up in your face. But yeah, that's
Oh,
what I wanted
Alex,
to say.
I don't
Huh?
know. Did you hear the episode where Dan and I were talking about the money game?
No, I didn't.
Daniel, tell her the story about the multi-level program you're in that you've never done anything with.
Oh yeah, I keep making money from it. It's so funny. I don't share the link.
Yeah, the
I
link
don't
that
share
you
the
never
link.
share.
Last week I had 3 sales in one day. I might have to log into that account. I don't even know where the logins are for the account.
Wow.
How to get my money out of it. So that's funny.
That's great,
That's
though.
great. Yeah. Mm. Always fabulous.
Always.
Magical money.
Never not fabulous.
Yeah. Did I tell you about the time when I didn't realize that I'd sent myself a check?
You didn't realize
No.
you sent yourself a
No.
check? Wait a minute, hold on.
So one of my companies, I got a call from the office that we'd had a check. I was like, oh, what's that from? Because it's smaller than the payments that we get for that business, like a couple grand, whatever. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Yeah, I was like celebrated that I've got some mystical money. I didn't try and figure it out. And then I remembered I tried from one of my other accounts to do a wire payment and it accidentally sent a check.
Oh,
I forgot about it.
So you paid yourself for a
I
manifestation.
forgot about it. I forgot about it.
Oh, no.
This money.
You remind me of a story that Joel Elston once told.
Mm-hmm.
He told the story about a client who is a very wealthy client who he had been working with him for relationship issues. But the client at one point during one of his sessions just kind of offhandedly dropped that, he'd gotten a dividend on one of his investments. It was for like a $17 million dividend. And they just started going on with the story. And Joel said, wait a minute, you had a $17 million dividend? Is that what you just told me? And the guy said,
Just all nonchalant, by the way.
I get those all the time. Like it was no big deal.
I wish that was my life. Just matter of factly, 17 million, yes.
Million here, million there.
Yeah,
As
you
you
know,
do.
and no big
Pretty
deal.
soon it adds up to real money.
Yeah. Levels.
But that's what I was thinking about when you were talking about, you forgot to that you sent a check to yourself. It sounds like it's in the same ballpark. Like, oh yeah, okay.
I don't think my couple of grand is in the same ballpark as 17 million. But
Energetically it is.
I do get the concept of the energetic resonance. Definitely. Here's to forgetting that I sent myself a couple of million.
Right?
Go for it.
I mean, I'd have to at
Only
least
a matter
give him
of
credit.
time.
At least he realized that he received it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was good.
Yeah.
Step ahead.
Yeah, he realized he received it. So,
It's a step ahead of where I was. I mean, I
I've
didn't
made
even know I
no
was
money
getting it.
at all. None at all. Conversation with Daniel.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there was that 17 million.
Oh, no.
For sure. That's cray.
I mean, it's really awful when your broker sends you a $17 million dividend and you just didn't even hardly care.
Those are the days. Those are the days.
Levels. Levels.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it just reinforces, like we said, this is all money is energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's essentially what money is, and it's money. It's energy passing around and through, and it's easy, I suppose, when you have plenty to think of it in a dismissive way.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I've also proven it's easy to dismiss it when you're not full of plenty, because I managed to do that just fine. So, it all comes down to one thing. Are we going to dismiss the energy, or are we going to accept it? Are we going to celebrate it? Are we going to feel good about it? I mean, at least Daniel, when you got the $2,000 check you'd forgotten to send yourself, you celebrated. That was good.
Oh yeah, I was celebrating the punani out that one. What? Money. What? Did the dance. I think I even tithed on it as well. I did. I tithed on it as well.
You tithed on your own money? Well, that's good.
Well, someone
It's
got
good
rice
that
and
you're in a
beans.
situation where you don't notice that it came out of your account and came back to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone had rice and beans that week on me. That's hilarious.
Oh, man.
Hilarious.
All right, I'm gonna switch it around here a little bit. I'm gonna bring up a theme that has been discussed on the show a number of times, and I wanted to get your take on it, Daniel, because we're talking now. First of all, we're talking about money in a way that I think everybody's sharing in the vibration of, oh wow, this stuff is so easy. This is great. It just kind of flows in. Half the time you forget about it. It's so easy. It's just right there. So we're raising everybody's vibration about that.
Mm-hmm.
However, as with anything else, usually most people have one, maybe two things that they're really good at manifesting. And if you take like the big three or four would be like money, relationships. Health, maybe job, career type path, something along that line. And maybe one or two, maybe even three of those are great and the others aren't so great. You rarely find somebody where they're great on everything. So in other words, usually somebody has some area of their life, like, like Joel's client. This guy was a billionaire, where 17 million meant nothing to him, but his relationships, Joel just point blank said it, his relationships sucked. They were terrible. And that's what he was working on. He was trying to get that part right, So it seems like we always have something like that going on. Now, my question for both of you is, do you think that is just because we live in a contrast world and we're all here working on playing with the contrast? Or is there something specific that says each one of us has to have one thing that isn't working great or else we can't even be here?
Neither.
I don't think that it has to be that way, but there are collective agreements to say that it does.
I think in some way we're purposely blocking ourselves from having it all, but I don't think it has to be that way.
This is the thing, and this is one of the things. So last week, by the way, I was getting my certification as a certified reality transurfing coach.
Ooh,
so,
congratulations!
Yay!
Yeah, there we go. And one of the ideas that I think goes beyond the idea of like infinite possibility is the concept in reality transurfing of the space of variations. Sometimes it's called the alternative space, depending on the translation from Russian. But basically, it takes the idea of infinite possibility a little bit further, because what it does is it says that everything is information that then we pull reality from. So our reality is constantly being pulled from this pool of infinite, and it's completely infinite because knowledge is infinite because it's always expanding. So for us to say that anything has to happen a certain way, we're denying the ultimate truth of reality is that all opportunities and all possibilities are there. Mm-hmm. So do we have to do it that way? No. But is it more probable that it's going to happen, that there's going to be an imbalance? Yes, by virtue of the fact that the collective agreements hold that probability tied together. Mm-hmm. So there are those of us that do talk about consciousness and conscious creating, the greater majority do follow the line that you can't have it all, there has to be contrast and so on and so forth. Now, what I love about the stream, for example, it doesn't say that there has to be contrast, is that there's going to be contrast, because that's the very nature of this common field of reality that we experience. Right. Versus someone saying, the only way that you can have life is if this and if that and blah, blah, blah. Well, then we've just said that there's that space, that opportunity doesn't exist in the space of variations. Mm-hmm. But possibility doesn't equate probability. So can you have all of it? Yes. But again, I love the way that the stream puts it. That'd be bloody boring. Mm-hmm. The texture of contrast is part and parcel of the experience, but it's about having the experience and not being a slave to the disempowering emotions and energies that can come from the contrast in the experience. And it also doesn't mean that it has to be painful. It doesn't have to be painful. I have the similar thing. There's generally one area of my life that I get pretty much full-time support on in terms of the coaching and stuff that I receive. Mm-hmm. It's not money, obviously.
Not obviously.
Apparently not, no.
But then again, my work is supporting people where it's that. People that can have amazing relationships, they've got great health, they're really happy, or they're really fulfilled, but the abundance piece isn't there. Mm-hmm. Right? So do we have to do it that way? No. Is it likely that most of us are going to do it that way? Yeah. Long and short.
And by the way, I also would like to add something to those people who say, well, it would actually be terrible if you didn't have the contrast, and without the contrast, the whole thing would come screeching to a halt. My response to them is there a shortage of contrast that I'm not aware of?
Not the last time I checked.
I mean, it always comes, anytime someone starts to do all of that, oh, it has to happen this way. This is the only way to do it. You can't do that. I'm like, okay, so you just limited infinite possibility. Yeah. You're full of poop. I no longer have any respect for what you have to say.
You're full of poop.
That's just
it is what it is, bro.
Yeah. There are a few pretty famous people that kind of preach that line, and I have no respect for what they have to say as a result of that being their underlying thing. Again, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with respecting the role of contrast. physical reality, as we are all subscribed to, I know that we're subscribed to it because we're here experiencing it, does include duality. The duality happens at the point of separation. So as long as we're subscribed to the laws of Newtonian physics and this physical reality, then that's the case. However, to say that that's the only way that we can experience physical reality means that we're saying that there is a limitation on infinite possibility. And the only thing that God can't do is be less than itself. Infinite possibility is infinite possibility. What we're talking about is probability.
And when you use the word duality, you're using it the same way that the stream calls it polarity.
Yes, same thing.
Same idea.
2 points. Yeah. Separation from oneness, basically.
Yeah. I think it's a great point.
And for those who think that it's aliens that have the answer, the fact that they're separated in consciousness means that they're also subject to the laws of polarity and duality. So,
Boom.
and
We're right back where we started from.
There was war in heaven.
Yes, right.
So, anyway.
Oh my goodness. It's interesting how we are so good at finding ways to create contrast, even when we're talking about contrast.
Oh, no.
Seriously. I mean, look at all the different ways we did just in the last 2 minutes. It's great.
Girl.
I can't even begin to fathom the idea of a world without contrast, just because every time that I try to do it, I introduce contrast.
That's how it is. That's how we created it.
So, yeah, I'm not really worried about a contrast shortage. I don't think it's going to happen.
Not worried about it either.
So, just a few minutes left in the podcast. Well, first of all, I got to get a couple of promos in there. First one being, if you haven't downloaded the app, I don't know who hasn't so far, but if you haven't downloaded the app, please do so and use the app to send in questions, send in comments, send in whatever. I mean, that's why we included that contact form in the app. So if you've got questions for Dan about the money game or about Beyond Intention, click Dan's name and send a little note saying, "Hey, Dan, I got this question about it,"
Hey. And it comes to my inbox and I accidentally reply everyone sometimes. So
Oh, no.
no nudes, please.
Oh, jeez.
No, seriously. Let's make that clear.
I think that's probably fair, and it's actually safe, believe it or not, because there is no way to attach anything to the messages in the form.
So no request for nudes.
Yeah, it won't actually work. If you try to paste a photo in, it just won't go.
Yeah.
Thank you for protecting me from the nudes, Walt. I love
You're
it.
welcome.
He's the nude protector.
The nude protector.
We are the nude police. Going where they're not desired.
For real.
So make sure that you use the form and send stuff in. Send in a question for Alex. We need some questions for Alex. Start with the headphones. That's always a good way to start with, Alex. And then the other thing, too.
Anything's magical and unicorny, ask Alex.
That's always good,
Yes.
too. Well, actually, anything TV, you can ask Alex, too.
Anything TV. If you're struggling on dating apps, give me a ring-a-ding.
Dating apps, yeah. That's a good question for Alex. I mean, she was pretty much the dating app expert, gave up on the dating apps, came back to one particular dating app, and got engaged. There's the ring. For
I
those of
actually
you
got
who
a
are
ring
watching on
upgrade,
video.
guys.
So,
I got a new thanks for not dying ring upgrade.
a what?
A thanks for not dying ring upgrade.
A what?
You know I hate to repeat myself. God damn it, Walt.
What are you talking about?
Because my lung collapsed, so I almost died. So he was like, "You're
okay.
home from the hospital. Thanks for not dying. Here's a new engagement ring."
Oh, that's what that was going on there. I was like,
Yeah.
did we do this already?
My bad. Forgot
it's
everybody
cute.
wasn't with me.
It's cute. I love to see love. But
He's giving you the eye, Alex.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, getting back to the promo, please do send me questions. We love having the questions. And we also have something else we haven't done a whole lot lately because Alex hasn't been around, but she was around for the last show on Thursday, and she is here today. So she gets to tell you how you can actually subscribe and watch and listen to us on YouTube.
So what you want to do is go to YouTube, search LOA Today podcast videos. Once you see our smiling faces, click down below to the red subscribe button. Next to the red subscribe button, there's a little silver bell. Click that little silver bell so you will always be notified when we are live.
Ding, 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 ding. Basically.
Or without side effects. I mean, either way.
No, the side effects have to happen. Otherwise, reality screeches to a halt and everything collapses.
Reality screeches to a halt. It's dead.
We're really going to be glad when
vegan
David
too.
Strickle comes back next week. But boy, this reminds me of what we're missing while David's been here, because this is
The good
the
old
craziness that I'm so used to.
The madness that is us.
I am loving it.
The madness.
And the madness increases.
So and then green is people.
So thank you, David, for, or David, yeah. Thank you,
Everybody.
Daniel, for giving us the update on the money.
Did you call me Davniel?
It was kind of like a multiple word merge.
It was one of
there,
those things that moms do when they don't remember which kid they're yelling at. They just,
Oh,
everybody. All y'all.
Every single one of yous.
And you, the one whose name I can't pronounce, you too.
Yeah, everybody. Get over here now.
Get it.
So thank you, Daniel, for sharing more details about the money game. Hopefully that helped people to, understand how to apply it better. He's even doing a bow. I love that. All we
Wow.
need now is to have a way to do an audible bow. Otherwise, it'd be perfect.
Here comes the bow.
Here comes the bow.
The bow is here.
Well, hold on. I want to curtsy.
Curtsy is here.
All I had to do was ask. It was great.
Exactly.
Ask and you shall receive.
Manifestation on fleek. Okay. I've got to go. This is
I don't know how to end it any better than that, so I'll just leave it right there. We'll see you all next time here on LOA Today. Goodbye, everybody.